Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today is all power related, so make sure you keep your fingers away from the moving parts or else they're gonna get crushed. Let's start with the topics we're gonna discuss. Power generating items and how they work, power shafts, how to use them and their nuances, some obscure information about power in general, and then we're gonna finish with gravity battery and the most efficient way to build it. Just a spoiler, I'm not going to build any mega infinite power generation thingamajig for you guys. However, I'm going to explain the core concepts that will enable you to do these in your playthroughs. So with that said, let's start with the first topic. There are a total of 4 types of power generating buildings. So let's start with the first one. #beaver power. The first type requires your beavers to operate them. Both Folktails and Iron Thief have a variation of this. Folktails is literally a hamster wheel, employing a single beaver, whilst the Iron Thief go a bit more medieval in style with a fashionable push-operated system and employs 4 beavers. Both of them of course generate power. The Folktails one generates between 50 and 85, whilst the Iron Thief generate between 300 and 510 power. The downsides of this one is that it needs beavers. The second type of power is wind power. This, sadly, is strictly a Folktails building. The downside is that if there's no wind, there's no power. This is especially true in hard mode, since I've noticed that wind rarely blows in hard mode, sadly. The third type is water operated. The Folktails have a single water wheel, whilst the Iron Thief have access to 2 of them. Anyway, all 3 work on the same principle. The faster the CMS, cubic meters per second, or water flow for dummies, the more power is generated. To verify how much CMS your river has, build a stream gauge. The downside of this is that you need water flowing for them to work. The fourth type is wood operated. This is a Iron Thief exclusive. You burn wood, you produce 500 horsepower. That's all, pretty simple. The downsides, however, is that you need wood, and it's a resource that it's slow growing and it's required almost everywhere else. Now let's talk about power shafts. These are needed to deliver power from your generators to your power-hungry buildings. In Update 6, they brought vertical power shafts, which simplify the power delivery by a mile, as before Update 6 they were reliant on some weird shafts that were going only 1 tile up and then 1 tile forward. If we activate the developer tool, we can see this over here, high power shaft, which transfers power from down here up there. And in the past, the way you would build to higher elevation would have been to place platforms down and afterwards use the high power shaft to go upwards and upwards. So you were basically creating a stairway to heaven. Nowadays, to just go to the exact height, you just need vertical power shafts, you build them, and you get to the desired height without any problems. Apart from this, when you're building a power building, the blue gear icons will appear. Those blue gear icons represent the place from where you can connect power shafts. So for example, to this windmill, when I'm close to it with a power shaft, the blue gear icon will appear, notifying us that it's connectable. Another neat trick is when you're building windmills, you can actually firstly place a power shaft with the input upwards and then place the windmill on top. The power will be transferred with absolutely no problems. Good. The next thing about power shafts is if you want to continuously build them, you can just click and drag it. And this way you can create a line of power shafts without any problems. The T-shaft and intersection are awesome whenever you're dealing with trying to split the power between multiple directions. Let's talk a bit about buildings and how to deliver power to them. Basically, whenever you got a building that requires power, when you're trying to connect it with a power shaft, as you can see, the blue arrow will appear, noting that you can connect it to the building. For example, where this is important, when you're dealing with the dirt extractor. The dirt extractor can only accept power from the front area of it. It cannot do it from the mechanical part that goes in the ground. So if we want to put a power shaft around here, there's nothing to be able to connect it. However, if we move it closer to the beginning of the machine, we're gonna see that the blue arrow appears. Similarly, it connects from the front also, and from both sides, of course. Good. That would be all about the power shaft. Time to move to some obscure power things. I'm gonna just rapid fire mention them. Buildings can transfer power between them even if they don't require power. For example, if I have some gear workshops spread across them, and I have the first one powered, I can also power a second one by including some solid building that can fit between them. For example, this mini lodge is perfect and the power will be transferred between the two buildings. There are also other buildings that can work. For example, the triple lodge also works. The district center also perfectly works with absolutely no problems. And other things like the grinds mill or other buildings. Basically, the way it works, as you can see, each time I'm hovering with a building on a free building spot, the buildings around it light up. Each time they light up, it means that power is getting transferred. For example, for the warehouses, sadly, this is not possible, so they won't share the power between them. Of course, by default, all power buildings, if you put them, they're gonna be able to transfer power between them without any issue. I just wanted to exemplify that also non-power buildings can do the same. You know, when you go to the mountainside and the wind blows faster there, well, that's not the case in this game. Having windmills on zero elevation versus having windmills very high above the ground, there's absolutely no difference in terms of power generation. As you can see, both of them are generating 101 power at the moment. You remember that for power wheels, I mentioned between X and Y values. That's because power generating buildings that employ beavers take into account their well-being. The happier they are, the more power they will generate. For example, the power wheel by default generates 50 horsepower. That means that a beaver with zero well-being will generate 50 horsepower. We have over here a beaver with 28 well-being. and he is currently generating 64 horsepower. If we're gonna buff the beaver to 76 well-being, he is going to start generating 85 horsepower instead of 50. Similarly for the iron thief power generating building. On iron thief's side, 4 small water wheels are less efficient than a single big water wheel, although they occupy the same amount of space. So if we check over here, the 4 small water wheels are producing 236 horsepower, whilst a single big water wheel is producing 268 horsepower. Iron Thief can continue having power even in drought season by using the bad water discharge building. As we can see at the moment, we are in a drought which is in progress. There's no water running around. However, if I open this, the water comes out and flows. This way you can make sure that you always have power to your wheels by using this bad water discharge. Again, it's only available for Iron Thief, Fall Tails don't have it. From my point of view, this is more of a thing to balance out windmills versus constant power generation. Now you're going to think for yourself, all of these are nice and fun. As long as the wind blows, we got power. As long as there's no drought, we got power. As long as there's beavers and lumber, we also got power. And that keeps our power-hungry factories working. But what happens when these stop working? Well, the factory also stops working. However, what we can do is store the excess energy that all of these power generation buildings do into a gravity battery. So let's not lengthen the video anymore and let's see how one is built. Now, when it comes to building a gravity battery, the simplest way is to simply put it on the ground. But this will only store 4,000 horsepower in order for your factories to work. That's not quite efficient. Therefore, we're gonna fix this by building a tower. For this, you're gonna need to have overhang 3x1 unlocked and also platforms 5x5. So the way I'm gonna build it is like this. Now, when I reached the final point over here, I'm gonna delete some of these. Basically, I want to delete as much as possible so the gravity battery can fit on top, and also a platform 5x5. The platform 5x5 already has 1 height. The battery, if we're gonna check it with a platform, we're gonna notice that it has 4 height. So we're gonna need around 5 height deleted. Let's delete this. And let's see, we deleted 5. Let's see if this works. We're gonna test it out. Yes, it works. If we would have gone a little bit higher, let's see if this would have still worked. You see, it didn't work. Therefore, always calculate how much you need to leave as space. With the total amount already built, we can implement the stairs. So let's start from the bottom. And let's finish off with the roads. I'm just gonna put a district center over here just so I have the guidelines. Basically, I'm interested in the lines. And here we go. What you can also do over here, if you're gonna place a 5x5, of course you're not going to have a way to manage to get to it. Therefore, what you can do is actually delete the last platform that we've built and go with a 6x1 platform. And then place at the very edge a 5x5 platform. Here we go. And now let's do the stairs. And the final pieces of road. Now up top over here you can build quite a few gravity batteries. And the last one over here. Perfect. Now as you can see, this gravity battery over here stores now 50,000 instead of 4,000. The one from here stores 54,000. Let's see, do we have a way to bring the power up? No, we don't. Therefore, we need to get rid of this final one. And then let's do with the power. We're gonna make sure that it goes up until here. Like this. So we are going to place a platform down here and then make sure you decide the direction you want your power to go before starting to build it. Because if you don't properly set the first block, you're gonna need to delete everything upwards in order to rebuild it. So let's start from here and go up. And once we've reached the top, we can connect it just like this. And now basically all of these gravity batteries will be able to be used to help us finish to help us power our factory. Let's just prove that it works by getting a industrial lumber mill over here. And to make sure, let's also place some lumber mills down so we can see it in action. Some storage down. Here we go. Now this one works. It consumes 75 horsepower and our batteries are slowly draining over here. If you still don't like how much energy the batteries are making and you want more energy than this, you can actually try to find the place where they fall, so it would be right around here, and place some triple dynamite. So let's see, the way I'm trying to find it is to check it out when it appears up top over here. You see it appears here. This is the place where the gravity battery building is put. And this is basically the place where the rocks will descend. And we're gonna place it like this. Looks like it kind of... Yeah, it looks like I was one off. Here we go. And now we've increased our battery from 54,000 to 60,000 and now to 62,000. And I don't think it's possible to go more deep. No, we reached the limit. Yes, we did. So the maximum storage capacity is 62,000. Now if we calculate how many storage batteries we got over here, we got 6 of them. So that's a total of 372,000. That should last us quite a long while. However, let's assume that you would like to have more than this, and you want even more power. Well, that's good for you. The way how I'll do it is delete this wooden stairs from over here. That's why I selected the 6x1, because it's long enough for me to continue onwards with the build. P.S. Wait with me while my dumb brain is trying to comprehend what on earth is happening here. And after I've finished, I can place 2 of these, delete the stairs, place another one like this, and then run cabling like this. So now, with even less resources, we managed to make yet another gravity battery that stores a lot of energy. This way, you can make sure that you can survive the entire 20 days of drought with absolutely no issues. And that's all, folks. Please do like, subscribe, and comment what you guys loved about this video. Subscribing for you, it's free. It's a single click away. For me, it means a lot, as if I reach 1000 subscribers, YouTube will buy me coffee for the rest of the months ahead. Also, if you want to see more tutorials, just click the playlist over here. Badger out.